Birds are chirping, flowers are blooming, and the sun's shining brightly. Well, occasionally. Spring has sprung. And if you want to liven up your home this April, a great option is to add some indoor spring plants. Here, with some of his favourites to spruce up your indoor spaces this April, horticulturist David Dominy. It's nice to get spring indoors as well as out, isn't it?
It is, and for earlier on in spring, the kids, well, we pot up a lot of very small daffodils, you know, taste and the like, and then we bring them in so we get flower inside, and lots of supermarkets as well sell those bunches that have brought happiness in. But it doesn't just end there when they finish. There's so much more. One of my favourite plants, you've probably grown many of these as well, Alan, is the Amaryllis.
They always remind me of agricultural show loudspeakers, because when that flower opens up, they get these two great trumpets, usually two, sometimes more.
They do, and we've been growing them with the kids. You can either buy them as bulbs, and of course you can buy them pre-potted in these as well, and they open up in those marvellous, colourful trumpets at the top.
I find the secret is not to overwater them at this stage, just barely damp compost, because if you give them too much water, often the leaves come out before the flowers do.
Yeah.
So it's much easier, just barely moist, do you think?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it rots the bulb as well. I'm not a great keen fan of these type of solid containers.
That haven't got, they catch water, but also they leave them standing in it.
They do, and in fact, out of all house plants, most of them are killed by kindness. You know, if everybody's saying, well, I've grown a house plant and it hasn't gone very well, and it ends up looking like that, invariably, it's because of this.
Sodden.
Yeah, and the sodden, it displaces all the air in the soil and it rots them. So most houseplants are killed by kindness. So
don't leave them standing in water. Water and let it run out the bottom and then throw it away down the sink and just leave them till next time.
Absolutely, that's what I do with mine. Or when I go on holiday, I put a few towels in the bottom of the bath, put in the plug so it's splashy, put all the plants that are sitting on the towels, not in water but on moisture, and that has a tendency to keep them longer. But of course, spring is just right for repotting at the minute, and I suppose, you know, for many plants, a lot of people aren't quite sure whether they need repotting or not. This lovely bird's nest fern, if you just squeeze the side of the pot, you can take a look. Now, there's plenty of soil there. That doesn't need repotting. But some other plant varieties, if you squeeze the pot, you see a sodden...
That's ready for a move, isn't it?
It's ready for a repot. and the secret, of course, as you know, is not to repot them into too big a container, just the next size up, really, because it helps you manage the water and the caring from them. After a long winter, wiping over the leaves as well, and I find it terribly therapeutic.
Dear, just washing the leaves of your Stephanotis. There's David's mindfulness tip today.
You know.
Wash the leaves of your Stephanotis. Damp cloth.
A damp cloth. I find it because you're on the phones all day, or if you're working from the office, plasma screens and tablets and the like, put them down to have a green break, and tending and spraying and caring. You know, even for 5 minutes, just refreshes the mind.
It also lets much more light into the leaf. I mean, particularly inside, where they're not getting bright sunlight, they need all they can get through that leaf surface to photosynthesize and make energy. So the more muck you take off them, and it's quite surprising, isn't it, what comes off?
Yes, you don't realise it's the surface and the underside protecting, and there's quite a lot. But there's so many beautiful alocasias here, the elephants here, aren't they gorgeous?
It's almost as if it's made of metal, isn't it? Enamelled metal. It's gorgeous, beautiful, and that's a good one for shade, isn't it?
It's a very good one for shade. Very hungry plant as well. So I give it a little bit of food, say twice a month, something like that, during the growing season, spring and summer, and tail off during the winter. But they can produce quite large ones. Now, the big favourite that's hugely popular at the moment is the bromeliads, and there's many different types.
These are all the pineapple relatives, aren't they?
Yeah, and the one you've got there is called Priscilla. It's a lovely little one.
Hello, Priscilla.
It always looks like frost dusted the tops of the
isn't that gorgeous?
of the bracts there.
Lovely.
And of course, they're epiphytes, as you know. They live on the side of trees, so you water the vase in the middle. But they are monocarpic, meaning, you know, after flowering they die, but they produce a little pup, a little baby.
Tiny
afterwards.
offsets, but gorgeous colours. I mean, they're really you know, if you like something a bit psychedelic in your house, they're brilliant, aren't they?
A good bedroom plant, of course, being bromeliads, they produce the oxygen at night, so they work pretty well in making quite fresh air for you and helping you sleep. And of course, fragrant plants help you sleep as well. The
Entia stephanotis.
Yeah, the Madagascar jasmine, that's yet to open.
Do you know, hospitals now are so worried about flowers in rooms and plants in rooms. And Florence Nightingale, way back in the 19th century, she recognised the benefits of plants and flowers in rooms way back then. And I think we need to remember occasionally that they are, she said, for a man in hospital, because she's dealing with servicemen, you know, in hospital, for a man in hospital bed to gaze on a flower, he starts feeling better when he's just looking at it. Yeah. And I think we have to remember that.
Well, you're quite right. And we've got another fragrant plant here, which is a citrus.
Yes.
And then we've got the moss balls.
Hang on, I've got to look at this first, because you said these leaves smell.
Yeah, you get a fragrance.
Oh, they do. Gorgeous.
Some of them use them in curries. It's a cross in between a mandarin and a lemon, so the fruits are edible, but they taste like a lemon rather than a mandarin. But it's the fragrance from the
blossom.
Yeah,
orange blossom. Obviously. Go on then. What on earth have you got in here? There's not a sign of a tadpole.
No, and there's a little light at the top as well. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Well, I picked these up whilst, you know, I do a lot of work with houseplants. And they're called maramos, not to be confused with the jelly sweets. And they are, in fact, moss growing on it. It appears to be a sponge. I've had my hand in and felt it. Sorry?
Is it a pebble or what?
Well, no, it's like a sponge that's in there. Yeah. And the moss grows, it's Japanese, grows on the outside. Maramo means mara as in bouncing ball and mo as in water plant.
And the bouncing ball water plant.
The bouncing ball. I think they're fascinating. Apparently, they're supposed to bring exceptional good luck inside a home. They purify the water as well.
A tall, dark, oh, it's your reflection. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Alan.
It's like a crystal ball. And then do you turn the light off at night, or can you leave it? It's splendid, isn't it?
But it's new, and this is the thing about houseplants. They're ever evolving in different ways to grow, and the pleasure and fascination that they bring inside the home. It just changes a windowsill from inanimate object into something much more than just ceramic ornaments. There's colour and vibrancy.
And one plant that is everywhere nowadays is this glorious orchid, Phalaenopsis, the moth orchid. And you've got it there in bark and this transparent or translucent pot. And the great secret here, going back to your first point, don't overwater. I mean, let the water run through that maybe once every 10 days, and that's enough, isn't it?
It is. That's the only thing that really kills them off, because they're an incredibly tough plant. A great humid lover, good for the bathrooms, good for the kitchens. But if you feed regularly using an orchid feed and don't let it sit in water, but you can mist it, the outer part, they'll flower for months, and then you get 3 flushes.
And the key thing is, when these have all gone, don't cut back this stalk until or unless you see it start to die back, and it might well die back to one of these joints. Don't cut the whole thing off. Just cut off the bit that you can see is died. Leave the rest of the stalk, because it will often send out, like this one, another flower spike from those stalks, won't it?
The key thing is you can get a second and a third flush. I'll tell you what I do. If you've not got it in the bathroom, I just get a normal saucer, put gravel in the saucer, water in between the gravel, and then sit the plant on top of that gravel. So as it evaporates, it creates a perfect microclimate for the plants itself.
Atmospheric humidity. Wonderful. Thanks, David. Lots of food for thought and plants for your house.